Hello and welcome back to our Dwarven playthrough. So I am going to do one more. Yes, we're going to do one more episode here. Because what I want to do is I want to try to test out and push the limit of what we can actually do with this character. Considering he's really, really strong, obviously. Maybe a little bit too strong. But anyway, point is, I think it might be quite fun to try out the siege defense, first of all, because obviously siege defense is not something that we usually get to do. It's kind of a rarity, unfortunately. I like doing siege defenses. I think they're quite fun. But yeah, as it stands, they are quite rare. Anyway, we're going to go in here. We're going to fight these guys. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to save, because I'm a little bit worried that it's going to crash, potentially, with such a large battle. But yeah, anyway. Point is, we're going to do this, and if we win or lose, doesn't really matter. What we're going to do is we're going to attempt to win, of course, but then we're going to be going somewhere far away from where we currently are, and we're going to try to fight as many variations of enemy as we can get our hands on. So, in other words, we're going to fight some orcs. We're going to fight some vampires if we can. I'm not sure if I can even start aggression against vampires, considering, you know, where we currently are and all that stuff. I'm not sure if a vassal can actually do that, but let's just see. Let's just see what happens, because as I say, I'd like to try and see if we can do that. Obviously, I'm not going to do the standard thing that I normally do, because there is no point in that. There's no point in me going to Brass Keep. As you know, if you've seen my other series on the Old Realms, you'll know that that's kind of my benchmark encounter for, you know, how strong a particular character is. Now, obviously, as I've said, I do think that this is a very, very strong character. However, I actually don't think it's the strongest. I know, it could be, I don't know. It's very strong, but it is not going to be the strongest, in my opinion. I think the strongest that we're going to face, or should we say the strongest that is available in the selections screen, is probably... I don't know. I would personally think the Way Watcher. Of course, there are going to be people that will say, you know, the... what is it now? Not the Grey Wizard, but the Grey something or other. I can't remember what it's called now. But basically, some kind of magic user, right? Because obviously we've played magic users before, and they're very strong. They can be extremely, extremely strong. They just need to have the ability to regenerate their winds of magic. If they can regenerate winds of magic, they will be pretty much unstoppable. And that's also the reason why I personally think the Way Watcher is extremely strong, because as far as I'm aware, it does have winds of magic. I could be wrong about that. I might be misremembering, because it's been a while since I've played that class. But whatever the case, even if it... I think it has a very small cost. I think it has a very, very minimal cost for its ability. And or if it has no cost at all, I think it might have no cost at all. If it has no cost, then you know why it's strong. You know why I think it's strong. So yeah, because basically you could just stand far away from pretty much anything, and you can just absolutely murder whatever you want. It's very, very, very enjoyable to play that. I'm gonna do a little bit of something here. This is gonna be a bit problematic potentially, but boom, there we go. I'm gonna put my anvil up there. That's hilarious. Boom. Okay, there we go. We literally killed 73. That's not actually that much, hilariously enough. That is not that much, but we are going to prevent them from getting in here. Can I actually destroy this? There's no way, right? I mean, it's going to take me an extremely long amount of time to do anything like that. I could try to do some damage to the enemy units themselves, but... yeah, as you can see, yeah, I probably shouldn't have even placed my anvil there, to be honest, now that I think about it. Oh, I'm actually stuck. Am I? No, I think I should be fine, right? I think I should be fine, yeah. Yeah, we're fine, we're fine. Okay, let's just move on like this, and we're basically just going to go close to my anvil, and I'm just going to cast... Here we go. Nice, instant 75 kills. That's great. And the problem is, this is... I guess this is okay. I don't know. I think this is alright because, you know what? Actually, we're going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to tell my forces to come into this area. I want them to come into this area. And that would then mean, and it's going to force the opponent into this area as well. And that's going to have a massive, massive impact on our strategy here. Because obviously, I mean, just bear in mind, obviously, right, this is a very, very strong ability and definitely some of the strongest we've seen, right? But the strategy is what is actually enabling us to be able to kill as many as we are like this. Because, yeah, sure, you know, I could do exactly what I did at the very beginning of the siege. I could go and, you know, try and find some people to use my ability on, but ideally, and well, what is actually happening here right now, enemies are coming towards us, and they're only coming towards us because I've placed my forces down in the courtyard here. If I hadn't placed them in the courtyard, well, they'd probably be all over the place, you see. They'd probably be all over the place. It would be quite difficult for us to get kills with our ability then, you see. And I do think that that's kind of the deal, you know. That's kind of the deal when it comes to career abilities. Most of the time, it is going to be down to circumstance and your own situation, whether you're going to be able to even use it. Let me see if I can use it here. Boom, there we go. Another 53 eliminated. But obviously, this takes a minute to come back. Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of taking a minute to come back, someone had a really, really good suggestion on how to balance the ability more effective. Well, I wouldn't say more effectively, but I would definitely say that this is most likely the way that I would balance it, because I totally agree with you on this. Basically, their idea, the commenter's idea, that is that to incrementally increase the damage of the ability as you use it. So, for example, it starts off, let's just say it starts off, I don't know, I'm just going to use an arbitrary number here. So let's say it starts off doing 50 damage, right? It starts off doing 50 damage. Then it does 100 damage, the second usage. Then it does 150 or whatever, right? Something like that. Obviously, I'm not giving the appropriate stats or anything like that because I don't know what they had in mind in regards to values or whatever, but basically just that. Something that incrementally increases over time would definitely make, in my opinion, a huge difference to the well, shall we say the feeling of overwhelming power that it actually provides. Because obviously you've seen it, you know, we're doing massive damage. I'm able to kill every single person in the radius. Obviously, a lot of people said, you know, reduce the radius. That's actually a good point too. Yeah, do reduce the radius, you know, because the radius is obviously extremely, extremely large. So those two things you could do, and just as I say, increase the damage every single usage. I'm not sure how easy that is to implement. So obviously, you know, maybe it's not something that is easily doable or whatever, and it's going to be annoying to do it. And yeah, obviously that's not something you want to spend development time on. But yeah, anyway, point is, I think that reducing the radius and, you know, implementing some kind of incremental damage increase would definitely make a huge difference to how effective the ability is, because what's going to happen then is then you're going to be incentivized to last as long as you possibly can in the battle, and you're going to be rewarded for staying alive. And I think that actually makes a great deal of sense. I think that makes a huge deal of sense. So I actually really appreciate that. I do appreciate that particular thought. I think that's really, really nice. And obviously, you know, if you are thinking about already doing something with that, then, you know, reducing the radius is probably fine too. Not too much, obviously, not too much, because otherwise, if you reduce the radius so that you only hit five targets with it or something like that, then it's basically pointless, I would say. But It needs to be a relatively large area because of the fact that we are tied to a stationary object. You see, that's one of the main things that I initially thought was keeping us pretty... I feel like it was pretty well balanced. I don't know, I felt like that was pretty well balanced, but obviously the amount of damage that we're able to do over and over again is definitely showing that it's just very strong. Obviously, you could start it off doing 25 damage if you wanted to. You know, you could literally start it off doing very, very little damage, and then it increases by 50% every single time, or increases by 100% every single time you use it, or something along those lines. That could be fun too, because obviously if it was 25 and you increased it by 100% every single time, then it would be 25, 50, 100, 200, and so on. But obviously, most of the time, you're probably not going to be having a significantly long fight. But if you do, like for example, like we're having here, I'm able to use my ability multiple times. And yeah, you can see here, obviously, at this point, the damage would be insane, right? Like, yeah, absolutely ridiculous. But of course, we're already killing enemies in one hit, so you know, it's not really here nor there. But I'm talking about if it's incremental, obviously, at the time. You know, if it's going to continue increasing over and over again. But yeah, anyway, I think we're probably going to be fine here. But obviously, we do have... Well, I've killed 900 enemy units, right? They've literally lost 900 people. I'm actually kind of surprised that they are still in here, to be honest. I would have expected them to very quickly want to go away from here, because it is fundamentally just absolutely terrible for them to just stay. I don't understand why they're staying, to be honest, but yeah. I mean, I'm almost dead as well. Just bear that in mind. I'm actually almost dead, which is a pretty big feat for them to be able to accomplish, because usually... well, usually we're unstoppable. Usually we basically don't take any damage whatsoever, but obviously the amount of damage I've taken is literally just like glancing blows here and there. I've barely taken any significant hits, and that's obviously thanks to the wonderful magic resistance. Well, yeah, we're actually going to do a chaos portal or two in this episode too, because obviously that would be fun. Gain some new runes, you know, see what kinds of runes are actually available. Haven't done that before. So it might be kind of fun, right? Might be kind of cool to do that. We got another 50 kills right there. And indeed, I am just going to speed through a little bit. Speed through a little bit here until we gain our ability. Let's place our forces at the back here. And I'm just going to get a little bit close and then use my ability if I can. Am I going to be able to? There we go. Yep, very nice. Boom. There we go. Another 87 kills. Very nice. And yeah, we're probably going to be done here. Alright, so we only got 158 renown for this particular battle, which I think is it's kind of funny, but we did get, what was it now, 72,000 in cash or something like that? Yeah, pretty crazy. Otherwise, you're not serving the Empire, be gone. I'm not sure why I'm getting all of these messages, but okay. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, we did apparently kill so many people, and yeah, well, we can move on and see if we can find a Chaos Portal relatively close by. Okay, so we've entered the Chaos Portal, and it's time for us to do some damage. I love, by the way, the environment, of course. This is very, very immersive and super, super fun to fight in. I mean, it's one of those things that I feel like we should see this kind of thing more, but obviously, I mean, how are we going to see that more, you know? It's a chaos world, so it's like, yeah, you know, some random battle somewhere is going to be on a chaos world? No. Obviously, I understand that it has to be special in some form or another, but it's just such an amazing sight that you'd kind of want to see it more often, wouldn't you? Or at least I feel like that way. Anyway, so yeah, let's actually do something here. I should probably be able to kill every single one of these in one hit. But let's see. Maybe I'm not going to be able to. I don't know. Let's try it out. Okay. I need to wait for these guys to get a little bit closer, actually. So I'm just going to wait here for a little bit of time. Okay. Now about now. There we go. Okay. That's well. There you go. 269 all eliminated. Very, very simple, of course. Obviously, very overpowered with that particular ability, but Yeah. I mean, I think we'd probably be fine nevertheless. Maybe I shouldn't use this ability. Should I use this ability anymore? Should I actually just not use it anymore or something? I kind of feel like maybe I shouldn't use it just purely because it is so strong. Maybe I should use it in certain situations, but I do feel as though we're probably going to be fine here anyway. I don't know. It felt to me like we're going to be okay because these enemies don't seem that difficult. Is that just me? I'm not sure. It's probably because my forces are so high level right now. And obviously we do have... we actually did get a blessing as well. We got the Grimgor blessing, which does allow us to have a 15% increase to our physical damage, which is very good. I mean, especially considering my forces are all physical damage dealers. So, of course, they are going to gain a significant amount from that. It's not too bad. And you can see here, look at this. We're still absolutely murdering everything, despite me not having my rune. No, you know, I'm not using it right now. Obviously, the fact is that we... I mean, I did kill 200 and... What was it? 69? 269, right? Yeah, so I've killed already about 30 of them in a normal fashion. But I think there is another Chaos Portal somewhere in the world, so I may, in fact, decide that we want to go to that, right? Maybe we want to go to that, and maybe we'll try fighting it in a normal way, rather than using our rune, and we'll see kind of what it does. We'll see what it's all about. You know, because I do think that might be quite fun. All right, so here you go. We get a choice. Okay. I don't know. What do I want to pick? What do I want to pick? I have no idea. I mean, the physical resistance is basically pointless. There is no point in that. So I might as well take Dragon's Blood, to be honest, because none of the enchanted items are actually going to do anything for me because I am enchanting my own stuff. And my own stuff is extremely well enchanted. I mean, it's very good, you know, so I don't really need to take anything like that. Now, funnily enough, we didn't get a rune? We didn't get a rune? Really? Okay. Right. I guess... Okay, so it's time for us to attack some vampires, and I actually can't wait to see what they have in store for us. I don't know if they're... I mean, they can't give us runes, right? I don't think so, right? I don't know. I don't think so. But, yeah, I was actually looking for another Chaos Portal. I did find a Beastman Herdstone. I'm going to try to go into that. I've obviously already shown you Beastman Herdstone attack, so I probably won't show that one again, but... I am still looking for another Chaos Portal. Hopefully I'll be able to find one. If I'm not able to find one, then I might just go back to the previous one and then just wait around until it's ready for us to attack it again. I think it takes like a week or something like that, doesn't it? Or something? I don't know, something crazy like that. So it would be very, very nice if we could find an extra one. I think there are definitely two at least in the world, right? It can't just be one. They can't just be one, right? Anyway, hopefully this will load soon and we'll be able to fight some vampires. Alright, so here we go. This is us against the vampires. It took a little bit of extra time for it to load, unfortunately, but you know, that's how it is when you've got these very high resolution armors for the wonderful vampires that we got here. Anyway, I am probably not going to be using my rune here. I'm not going to use the damaging rune at the very least. I will use the others. And we'll try and see if we can maybe make those work. Oh, hello. What? What is this thing right here? Yeah, we got a nice little ghosty. Nice little wraith of some kind. And it does seem to... Wow, it takes massive damage. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So, let's put our anvil out here. I'll use my... whoa. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm going to use my abilities here. I'm just going to use my buffs. And we'll try and see if we can achieve victory. Obviously, this is going to be much more difficult because I am not using my rune. But let's try it out, shall we? Let's try it out and see what happens. I'm going to assume that I won't be able to actually win this because they outnumber us so dramatically, and they do have a spellcaster, as you saw there. That was a significant amount of damage being done. Actually, you know what? I don't know. It does feel kind of dicey right now. It does feel like we're probably not going to be able to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I think probably not. I mean, I only have 170 people. Just bear in mind, I did institute the noble retinues policy because I obviously needed to try to gain as much as I possibly could. You know, as many people in our army as possible. It's really going to make a big difference. And yeah, I think I should probably use this. How are we doing so far? I mean, we're doing actually fine. I mean, we've only lost 51, but that means that there's only 120 remaining. Just bear that in mind. So, yeah, it is maybe not going to work. But these, obviously, as we've seen, are extremely easy for us to deal with. Can my guys actually charge in right now? My archers seemingly are standing all the way at the back there for some reason. I actually charged everyone as far as I'm aware, so I'm not sure why they're standing all the way back there, but all right. If they want to do that, then they want to do that. I am actually very impressed, though, that the vampires were able to kill as many as they did of us. Because obviously they do have a spellcaster. He only killed 10 of us. He only killed 10. Which is not exactly amazing for him. And indeed, as you can see, that is a victory for us without using our rune. So yeah, it is possible, very clearly, very, very possible. So nothing really to be super, you know, we're still able to do it. It's just not as easy, of course. It's just not as easy. So there you go. All right, not too bad. Are we going to get a rune for this? That's the question. I don't think so. And if we don't, then that's fine. We'll just be moving on sometime. And we got warpstone dusts. Yeah, I don't actually know if that is any good for any enchantments. I don't think it is. I didn't see that under the enchantment menu, so I don't think we need to worry about it. Alright, so it's time for us to fight some dark elves right here. Yeah, pretty cool actually, because obviously we can't currently play as the dark elves as far as I am aware. I don't think so. But yeah, very, very cool that they even have them in here. Obviously we fought them before as our wood elf characters, I think. Yeah. I think our Wood Elf characters did actually come in here and do something. This is a slaver camp, as you might expect, and we are hopefully going to have a pretty decent time eliminating these guys. And the funny thing is, they are seemingly quite passive. I'm actually quite surprised, because I would have expected them to be very aggressive and charge us almost immediately, just because they have a significant numbers advantage. They actually have, as you can see, 272 on the battlefield at the moment, and we only have 114. So it is very, very likely that they will, well, I mean, technically, they should be completely fine to murder us, but obviously, we are a bunch of dwarves, and maybe they really know what's up. Yes, maybe they know how dangerous we can be. But yeah, what we're going to do is I'm just going to put my little anvil out here. Going to use this. And it's going to charge everyone in. Let's do it. I'm going to charge absolutely every single person. And we'll see if we can maybe do something. Obviously, this is flame. Flame on. Yes, it's a flamer thing. Yes, that's what we're doing right now. These are just dread spears. So I'm assuming we're actually not going to have any issues whatsoever with these guys. They do seem to have these as the majority unit in their party here. So it is actually going to be very, very simple. As you can see, they basically do 0 damage to me right now, which is quite funny in itself. But yeah, I don't think they're really going to have anything that can do much to us. So let's use Hearth and Home right now. Not sure if that really does anything, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure what that even does. I literally still have not looked at their descriptions or anything. I can only say that I think that it's probably going to be something good, but I don't know what it does specifically. I believe that one of them gives us additional armor or something like that, so yeah, that's obviously very useful. And indeed, that is it. That is a victory for us. Very easy victory, not too bad. And yeah, obviously these guys are just conscripts. Should be very simple and done. I'm actually quite surprised that any of our forces are even dying here, to be honest. I really feel like they should not be having any issues at all. As you can see, we just cut through them like nothing else. extremely, extremely fast. And there you go. There's the victory. Okay, now cross your fingers and hope for a rune. I'm very much wanting to see these super, super powerful runes that I've been told about, because a bunch of people told me in the comments that some of these runes are insane. And unfortunately, as you can see, still not getting anything amazing here. Yeah, I mean, obviously these are great. Don't get me wrong. All of this stuff is really, really good. It's just unfortunate that I'm so advanced, I suppose, because we're not actually getting anything super amazing for ourselves right now. I'd like to get a rune. Maybe, is it going to be in the loot? Probably not, right? No, 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 no. We're getting amber crystals as well. We're getting amber crystals, and that's basically it. Ah, unfortunate. Oh well, never mind. I will attempt to find another Chaos Portal. Alright, so I just finished off a Beastman Herdstone, and as you can see, we do have a Dragon Tooth here, which is an ancient dwarf crafted sword, gifted to the Empire's tokens of friendship, deals magic and physical damage. That's actually pretty nice, and there are a bunch of other things here that are extremely nice too, like for example, this von Karstein body armor. That would be super nice if I was playing a vampire, of course. I guess I will just take the Dragon Tooth just to actually see what it's all about. But unfortunately, I was only able to find one Chaos Portal. I'm sure there are two. I think someone actually mentioned that there are multiple Chaos Portals, but for some reason, I could not find it. So yeah, that's just me being, you know, unlucky, I guess, or not knowing where it is. But that's okay. Let's take a look at the sword. Maybe it's actually going to be somewhat... I mean, it's obviously not going to be something that I'm going to use, but... there it is. Yeah, it's actually crazy good. Look at that. It does 63 magical damage. That says everything you need to know. 63 magical damage is amazing, because you know what that does, right? That literally ignores a huge amount of armor. And if the enemy doesn't have a massive amount of magic resistance, then you're going to be, oh yeah, then you're going to be doing absolutely fine. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Anyway, yeah, that's going to be it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get myself any runes. I couldn't get myself any runes whatsoever, so that's very sad. I think it would probably be a good idea at some point if the mod team would increase the chance of them dropping from those places. I don't know whether you can get them from other places, maybe from fighting vassals or something like that. I don't think so, but, you know, it would be nice if they would be increased slightly, because then it would be, you know, more fun, right? It would be more fun. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, and probably this series as well. I tried to fight some harder enemies, tried to fight different kinds of enemies, tried to use my rune less, obviously, and we did pretty nicely. So yeah, anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.